Hello Figgy Fiends and Collectors, this is me, Daniel East1000, back again with another Star Wars The Black Series figure review. Today we're going to be having a look at Knights of Ren, which isn't very specific given there's 6 of them. This one we're going to be looking at is called Vicrul, the only one that Hasbro's released in 6-inch, even though they've done a different one in 334-inch. Less said about that, the better. Really hope they do the others, because then this is for nothing. The Knights of Ren were really just a throwaway line and had a very, very short appearance in Force Awakens. And for the longest time, we've been waiting in anticipation to see more of them. So Rise of Skywalker did manage to do that for us, but they didn't really do much other than looking intimidating and giving Kylo Ren a bit of a body count, to be honest. Although with that being said, like with anything in the Star Wars universe, once you actually look into the comic books and other things that they are in outside the films, they kind of become a bit more, oh, that's kind of interesting, and adds a bit more to the film, I think. So it's well worth browsing their Wikipedia page, because that's what I did. But with that little ramble aside, let's get on with the review and let's have a look at the packaging. As always, this is pretty standard issue. You got the bubble there where the figure sits in, and you can actually look at it and see what it comes with. Nice picture by Gregory Titus just there. Very, very nice. Star Wars The Black Series. On the side you've got the name of the figure, and on the side there as well. And on the back you've got a brief bio and a ton of legal garb. As I always say in my Black Series figures reviews, I do like the packaging and the fact that you can open the figure up and reseal it, and it gives us box hoarders a reason to hoard. If you don't want to keep the box though, it's your figure. You can chuck it if you want. So that's the packaging out the way and done with. Onto the figure itself, and I have to say this guy is pretty damn awesome. I've got him in this kind of like, oh, I'm scouting the perimeter pose that he was in the film. I have to say it is a really good figure, and it just makes me crave even more, like I said, to have the others, because it just feels silly having him on his own. I don't get why Hasbro couldn't do multi-packs of these or just get them all churned out as soon as possible, because you want the full set. It's pretty comparable to what they did with Last Jedi and the Praetorian Guards. Everyone wants to have a full set of Praetorian Guards. Why would you make one of them exclusive, which is so freaking hard to find, the other a standard release, and then the other in a multi-pack of figures that people might already have or don't particularly want? It makes no sense to me. It's kind of infuriating, and I really hope they don't do the same to these guys. But I do hope, I really want Hasbro to release the rest of them. They look awesome. I mean, they've already got the sculpt for this one. Surely they can upscale him and put him with it. Even with the articulation that this one comes with, which is almost the same as this. We'll get into that when we get into articulation, because I've got a little gripe about that with this guy. But nonetheless, I really, really like this. I love the details. His coat that he's wearing, if we just get a little bit of a zoom in on that, is very, very nicely textured. It looks skin-like, and I believe that's what they wear. They wear like animals and stuff, because they're a bit like marauders, really. They just go about, do their own thing, and it's only until Kylo Ren came on the scene and things happened that he kind of became their leader more so. Interesting thing to note as well is they're force sensitive, but they don't really use their force powers at all. So they would be much more of a threat if they did use them, but they choose not to, or have not been trained in it effectively. So not fully clued up on their backstory, but that's what I can gather. And I think they just look cool. There's something very mysterious about them, which Star Wars has always had with Boba Fett and things like that. It goes without saying with these. He's very dirty and very grungy, which is something that General Hux doesn't particularly like. You can see the dirt on his boots, which represent that. The helmet is really, really cool. You've got some gauntlets there as well. Really, really cool. I love the texture detailing on him. Just looks really, really nice. In terms of accessories, he comes with this really weird scythe. So his weapon looks like one of those sticks that they use in lacrosse with the little hook thing. Or obviously I've never played it, as you can tell. It's kind of nice. It's got some nice weathering on it. There's a bit of like bandaging going on to the handle as well, which is kind of nice. He also comes with this blaster, which does fit into this holster on the side there quite nicely, and he does hold it as well. If I just take it out, it's got a very chunky look to it as well. So that's that there. Quite a big handheld blaster. He's more of an up close and personal fighter, but he has that sidearm just in case things get a little bit messy. Very, very menacing, very, very intimidating, and I think they would look even more so the part if, again, we had the others made. But nonetheless, in terms of articulation, he has a ball jointed head with a ball hinge. There's also a ball joint in the neck, ball hinge shoulders. Oh, and there's butterfly joints as well. I actually didn't notice that. Lovely. We've got butterfly joints on this guy as well, so you can pose it a bit more dynamically. Ball hinged elbows, ball hinged wrists, ball jointed torso, ball jointed hips, swivel at the top of the thighs, ball jointed knees, which follows on with my Count Dooku review where they did the same thing with that figure. But given this guy has almost the same articulation as this dude, I feel like it's been done for a reason, because I can imagine Hasbro downscaling this guy and upscaling this dude. Might be a bit of a cheeky cost-cutting technique for Hasbro to do two different scales. The thing that annoys me with this guy is it doesn't really blend as well as the Count Dooku one, where the joint and seam is. A door-hinged knee would have been much preferred. It's just a bit disappointing Hasbro's now reverting to that. He has ball-hinged feet with rocker joints. So you can get this guy in plenty of cool poses and make him look really intimidating. Definitely goes with Kylo Ren very, very well. Overall, this is one that you're probably definitely going to want to pick up, because I imagine it's going to be quite popular, although I feel like the popularity would probably rise, and possibly rarity as well, if and when Hasbro do the rest of them. With a lot of these figures, when it's part of a group, when the first one comes out, relatively easy to find. Then when the next one comes out, it starts to become gradually harder to find the others. Case in point with the Rebels figures, I had to catch up with those, and then ultimately, because I was playing catch up, missed out on Ezra. Yeah, that's a whole different matter. If you do want the Knights of Ren, I feel like you're gonna kind of have to pick them up as they come out. So I wouldn't pass this guy up if you really want the Knights of Ren. It's not really one of my favourite designs out of all the Knights of Ren designs, but I'm pleased I've got it in my collection, just to say I've got a Knight of Ren for now. Let me know what you guys think. Are you planning on picking up this Knight of Ren figure? What do you think Hasbro's plan is, if they even have one? Let me know in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed this little look at this figgy. This is me, Daniel East 1000, signing out. Thank you very much for watching.